became a little institution. So it's like.
But it's not just a store, right?
No,
From what I see on those pictures, it's a museum.
It's a museum. We also have a museum because there was some things that people wanted, and I don't want to keep in my home. So Clemente's rookie card. You know, that's an awesome piece. So we brought it to the store.
You have it there on exhibit, but it's not for sale.
No, we have an area that's not for, you know, you can't, people come in and say, well, you can buy everything here except the TV and everything that's in there. You know, because everything in there, Macho Camacho came to the store. He wore this jacket, he signed it for us. Tito Trinidad comes to the store, he did this. Felipe Lopez, when he was playing, when he got drafted, he would come to the store a lot. Sign sneakers, put it up for us.
And what are we watching here, Julio? Describe some of the stuff that you have here.
Clemente has become like the main item for the store. The majority of our stuff. You have a whole
Clemente section.
We started out with one or two things. And I'm not embarrassed to say that, unfortunately, growing up in the Bronx, my role model was like Mickey Mantle. But I learned that Clemente, you know, when it comes to the community, my God, so we began to go out and find things. And if you seek and you shall find, we begin to find things that nobody had, like, you know, beer cans that were made for Clemente in Pittsburgh that beer never sold. So if we find those cans, they're collectibles. We brought them over. Stamps, posters that they did in Cleveland, and then I don't know, a few extra ones, and I picked them up, and people will buy.
And that's jerseys. What we did. You sell a lot of jerseys, teams from not only here, but from Latin America as well, right?
Yes, we graduated from the T-shirts. Again, the learning curve for business in terms of retail for us was quite huge. And we realized that T-shirts were cool, but the markup and the time it took for us to do T-shirts as opposed to a jersey, it was easier and better and more, you know, effective for us to sell jerseys. What I did find was that people don't have jerseys. You went to Puerto Rico and you want to buy a jersey of your favorite team, you can't find it. If you go to the Dominican Republic and you want to buy a jersey, you can't find it. So what I did was I went and I got these teams to give me permission to do their jerseys. So it's interesting. I have orders of people who come to the store or through the internet, and they'll buy a Bayamon jersey to give to their father who lives in Bayamon across the street from the stadium. We can't find a jersey.
Okay, so we're looking at all the jerseys now. I see that. I see that
Cuba.
blue one. That blue one there's Cuba's the Cuban national team, baseball team. Yeah, that's a hot item, I'm sure. People like that, right?
It sells all over the United States. I get orders for that jersey from California, from New Mexico, from all over.
When you say you get orders from all over the country, obviously you have a website. What is the website?
It's latinosports.com.
Latinosports.com. Okay, and what is an online store? Everything that's on the that's for sale in the store.
The majority. We're about to switch into a new site because the business with the e-commerce is going, you know, sometimes better than the store. And so what we're doing is we're about to switch over into a new site that's going to be easier for people to handle. And then with all the other stuff that we've picked up, like we picked up the pro bono campaign to support retirement of 21. So that has also things that brings
retirement of 21. We only have a minute left, but tell us a little bit about that. You have a whole movement now to retire Roberto Clemente's number. You were on this program last year to talk about that. How is that going? You even produced a documentary.
Well, that's the other part about Latino sports, that we also take up issues. We took up the issue when there were no Latinos in the All-Century team, and we forced Major League Baseball to recognize that as a problem. We took up the issue of how come there were no Latinos in top-level positions, and Omar Minaya became the first Latino general manager because of stuff that we did. And then the other issue that we're recently on is on the issue of retirement of 21. We believe
There's another issue that you're forgetting. Go ahead, tell me about Roberto.
Number 21, Roberto Clemente's issue, you know, is very important to us because Clemente was not just a great baseball player. He was not just a great humanitarian. Clemente was an activist. He supported the Black Panther Party breakfast program in Pittsburgh when it wasn't popular. He supported the civil rights movement. He forced the Pittsburgh Pirates not to have a game for 2 days until they buried Martin Luther King. He was an activist. He did things that nobody knows.
And the way he died.
And then he died helping a country, Nicaragua, because of an earthquake, like you had in your previous guest here. That's the type of person that we need people to know about today, because if the baseball players today did 1/4 of what Clemente did, not just doing what he did, but also the way he treated people and the fans, then they can do so much to help these kids in the streets today.
Just briefly, I know there's an area that you're interested in that I'm interested too, and that is developing Latino sports writers.
Oh, yes.
Because they are the ones who vote for the MVP.
Yeah.
So if is that a part of the problem, the
Yeah.
fact that not enough writers are voting on these players?
That's one problem. I mean, if you look at the Baseball Writers of America, you know, the majority of the people who write are not there. If you look at the number of editors in national publications, they're less than 3% of minorities. If you look at numbers of Latinos who are key beat writers or national, you know, syndicated writers, they're less than like 1.5%. Yet we represent so much of the population in terms of baseball, boxing, and we're growing in other sports. So one of the things that we have done is also, again, by osmosis, you know, we just got into it.
Not just baseball, you do all the sports.
All the sports, and is that we give young people the opportunity. If a young person wants to get involved in sports and they try to go to ESPN and intern, they're going to be getting coffee or filing. They're never going to get onto the field. One of the things that we do is we immediately put them. Today's press conference at Yankee Stadium, we had 2 high school students, 2 college students who had never been to a game before.
Julio, pleasure having you on the
been
program.
my pleasure.
Good luck again with Latino Sports, and
Thank
we'll
you.
be there when you need us
Thank
to
you so
cover
much.
the events. We'll be back with you soon on another edition of the Bronx Journal. See you then.